What is up, YouTube, and welcome again to another episode of Behind the Wall, presented by Perky Jerky. I'm Pro Bowl 43, as always, along with my co-pilots, Kane Jr. 88 and Thermite 917. It is episode number 75. I figured I'd date that. It's a very special moment for us. You know, we hit 50 already earlier this year, and now we get 75, so that's really cool. Guys, give yourself a brief round of applause. Just kidding. Don't do that. Don't be weird.
Yay!
Shut up. But we are here to talk about the Las Vegas tripleheader race weekend, mainly the main event, the Cup Series race, the South Point 400, the very first race of the playoffs. So here with the race recap is our very own Kane. Take it away.
I will, thank you, Tyler. All right, we had a great start to this race. Eric Jones was our pole sitter, but he was passed pretty early on the very first lap by Joey Logano. And Joey Logano led pretty much the entire first stage early on until Kevin Harvick joined in the battle for the lead between him and Kyle Busch. It was practically 3 cars under a blanket for that moment, but then NBC has to cut to commercial, and while under commercial, Harvick passed both to take the lead as green flag pit stops began. Later on lap 60, Harvick got screwed by who else? His buddy, Ross Chastain, while trying to put him a lap down, and that allowed Martin Truex Jr. to take the lead. That led to the end of stage number 1, and for the 8th time in 2018... Thank you, Clayton Hughes. Truex ended up beating everyone off of pit road to retain the lead under the stage-ending caution. Just 10 laps into stage number 2, on lap number 90, the first caution of the day for an incident came out for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who made slight contact with the wall in the outside of turn number 3. And then Ty Dillon. Man, you haven't heard from him in a while. Well, anyways, he slapped the wall on the front straightaway after he had a right front tire go down. Everybody comes to pit road, and Brad Keselowski, he's going to do this quite a bit today. He wins the race off of pit road, and then Kyle Busch has to come back to pit road a second time to tighten up 2 loose lug nuts. This pretty much would put him out of contention for the rest of the race. As then, on lap 125, Martin Truex Jr. retook the lead from Bad Brad, and then probably the first of many huge incidents happened on lap 148. Kevin Harvick running inside the top 5. He cuts down a right front tire, and Eric Jones was right behind him on the high side, had no place to go, crashes right into Harvick, and both of their days are done early. They finished 39th and 40th, respectively. Once again, everybody comes to pit road, and Brad Keselowski regains the lead and holds off the field on a late-stage restart to take home stage number 2. And with that, the pit stops came back, but this time Ryan Blaney won the race off of pit road with a 2-tire stop. And then another playoff contender has problems. That's Alex Bowman. He was slapped with an uncontrolled tire penalty and had to start at the tail end of the field. 4 guys stayed out under that stage caution, including Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson. Unfortunately, the strategy didn't work well for them, as Brad Kay on 12-lap fresher tires ended up retaking the lead from Larson. But then they got lucky when William Byron, old Willie Wallwack, made his big return. He slapped the outside wall in turn 3. That was his second impact with the wall today. He brought out the day's 4th caution for an incident. Everybody once again pits. Brad Kay once again holds the lead until lap 202, when Martin Truex Jr. once again took the lead away from Brad Kay. Our next big incident was on lap number 212. Jamie McMurray had a replay of his Martinsville 2017 crash when he had no idea he had a tire going down, when his right rear ended up going out on him after he made contact with Ryan Blaney as well as the outside wall. And with nowhere to go, Chase Elliott, oh my God, he just had nowhere to go. He plows into McMurray. Anyways, once again, the 2-team kills it on pit road. Brad Kay took the lead back. And on the ensuing restart, Joey Logano got shoved out to the lead by Martin Truex Jr. and opens a good gap on his teammate. And then Kyle Busch, who was basically having a day from hell, he goes for a spin, cuts a right front tire. His day's pretty much done. And then on the ensuing restart, Larson had a daring 3-wide pass on the outside to take the lead away from Keselowski and Truex. But it wouldn't last long, as on lap 247, Denny Hamlin, once again another playoff contender, tears the splitter up in the grass on the front straightaway. His day is done. And on the restart, Brad Kay checks out while Truex, Larson, and Logano go 3 wide. And then Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he pounds the inside wall in the back straightaway, the same spot where Chase Briscoe had a hard wreck in yesterday's Xfinity race. and then once again the caution is out. So we restart again with 2 to go. Brad jumps out to the lead, but Jimmy Johnson, Alex Bowman, and Clint Boyer all have problems behind him. They make contact, cut tires. That's 3 more playoff contenders in trouble. Once again, as a result of all that, there was debris on the track. So we go into overtime. Logano gets outside of Brad. They're side by side going down the backstretch. And then, Las Vegas decided to rename itself Las Dagas, as in Talladega. Because we had a big wreck in turn number 4. Kurt Busch, another playoff contender, is caught up, as are David Reagan, Michael McDowell, and Matt DiBenedetto. The race ends up getting red flagged. And once the race goes back to green, we have a green-white checker, another one. Brad pulls away from the field on the restart, cruises to his 3rd win of the season, his 3rd win in a row, and it's also Team Penske's 500th win across all forms of racing. So Brad wins, Kyle Larson comes home in 2nd, Martin Truex Jr. finishes 3rd with Joey Logano 4th, Ryan Blaney rounds out the top 5 with Eric Almirola, Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, Ryan Newman, and Paul Menard rounding out the top 10. Well, gentlemen, we had quite the eventful race to kick off the playoffs, so let's hear your ratings. Nick, we'll start with you.
Well, thank you, Kane, for that very lengthy but accurate race report. There was obviously a lot to talk about, which means the race was probably good, and it certainly was. So I'm going to give this race an 8.5. First of all 3 races this weekend were really good, so I'm going to try my best to just stick to Cup. Coming into this race, we were really dreading another 1.5 miles added to the schedule, especially in the playoffs. But man, this race really didn't disappoint. Thank God for the 100-degree temperatures. Like Chicagoland, it just really made the track slick, and it allowed drivers to utilize multiple grooves and put on a heck of a show. A lot of good side-by-side racing. You didn't really know who was going to win. There were the dominant cars and such, but still, you never really knew who was going to have the advantage by the end, especially with all the cautions that there were. Man, I still can't believe how many playoff guys were taken out in this one. That certainly made things crazy, almost ridiculous to a point, but it was also entertaining, and a lot of guys are in a hole heading to the next race, but that's the playoffs for you, and it really mixed things up a lot, and that's part of racing. I really have no complaints about it. The only thing would be the finish wasn't that amazing, but that was some good stuff for Vegas, guys. Tyler, what's your rating?
8.5 out of 10. I'm going to give it the same thing. You really did sum it up very well there. I want to add on to that, as we were truly dreading going into the weekend. It's like, man, this race sucked. And honestly, the spring race will probably end up being the worst race of the year when we do our awards show. But now, after all 3 races have concluded, you actually have to sit back and analyze every race to figure out which one was the best. And that's crazy. This is the best weekend that we've seen overall as a package in a while. So it was just very enjoyable to watch. Again, we leave another race satisfied. It's crazy. I'm not even happy that Brad Keselowski won, and for the 3rd time in a row, but it's just, we're seeing good stuff all around, so it's hard to be disappointed. Again, we had that playoff drama. You had 12 cautions for 59 laps. You had 23 lead changes among 9 drivers. There just was a variety there, and the craziness factor. It's more than you could possibly ask for out of a Cup race weekend, especially from a track that we know has not produced great racing in the past years. Hell, maybe ever. So, 8.5 for me. Kane?
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit higher than you. I'm going to give it a 9. Very, very solid race. Lots of attrition. I think that's kind of the key factor this whole weekend, was all the playoff guys finding some kind of a trouble. I mean, obviously, Brad, Truex, Logano, they really didn't find much trouble throughout the day, but pretty much everybody else did, and it really made you kind of want to watch the whole race instead of, falling asleep during stage number 2. The finish could have been better, but, Brad was just too strong all day, and he showed it there at the very end. So, otherwise, very solid race. It's a 9 from me.
Well said. We'll move on now. Well, it's been a little while, but we actually have a topic to discuss for the race weekend, and it pertains to one of our favorite things, and that's paint schemes. But this week, about every car in the field had something that came out of nowhere. Oh my god. The freaking emojis and these Twitter decals with hashtag NASCAR playoffs. Okay, so let's just get the freaking ball rolling here. So now the race teams, in collaboration with the RTA, the Race Team Alliance, and Twitter, have unveiled these custom hashtags and emojis for all the 16 drivers in the chase, with the exception of Martin Truex Jr., since his team is not in the RTA, so I guess that's kind of a lie already from the get-go. Anyways, so they come up with this program, and apparently the RTA and Twitter are involved. Here's a direct quote from the executive director of the RTA, Mr. Jonathan Marshall. The RTA is pleased that we were able to coordinate and deliver the race team's participation in this innovative and engaging playoff execution. We're looking forward to this being the first of a number of cooperative engagements with NASCAR and other partners.
Oh, no.
Wow. This is your first idea? Slapping a goddamn decal on the side of the car in the contingency area. I'm sorry, do you work for JTG Daugherty Racing? Because this is something they would do. What the hell? Okay, you want to have your funny little emojis and your little promotion of the NASCAR playoffs. Well, let's just be real, alright? We're fans. We know that this is the playoff time, alright? You don't have to promote it to us. You're not even really promoting it to any new fans either. Because again, if a new fan is coming and they're coming to watch, they probably already know it's playoff time. You do it with your commercials, with your social media engagements. Why do you need to mess and slap unnecessary decals on race cars in weird places? It just looks so odd. I hate this. We all hate this. This was universally panned by not only the fans, but drivers alike. Guys, this has been a tough week.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing. You know, we're looking forward to the playoffs, and then this shows up. It just sucks. First of all, it's fine to do this emoji stuff on social media, get the fans engaged, you know, have a little fun with all that. But let's keep it there. Or if you're going to do it better than this. Like, put it on the windshield banner, like your Twitter handle or something. But if you're just going to slap a giant decal with a white background on most cars, it just ruins the integrity of the paint schemes. The paint schemes are supposed to promote the sponsors and advertise and do all that, but it looks cheap. That's what I said. And if the pictures weren't bad enough, the hashtag is way too small, so you can't even read it if you're watching on TV. You probably can't even read it if you're looking up close. The number should be the ID of the driver, not these little emojis that no one cares about that you just pulled out of your ass. I don't like it. Kane, what do you think?
As Simon Cowell would say, it's a no from me. It just looks terrible. I keep trying to imagine if I were a driver where I would put the stupid emoji on the car, and quite frankly, I just put it on the back, the TV panel. I mean, the rest of the car you can use to promote your sponsors and whatnot. And then the rear TV panel can say, you know, hashtag dig DI9 or hashtag 18 and 18, you know, or whatnot. Just put it there.
Or above the window.
Or above the window, yeah. I mean, does it really have to go in the contingencies? I still don't understand why the hell the RTA is allowing teams to use that space this year. It looks so terrible. It's an absolute atrocity.
You're damn right, Kane. That's my favorite word to use as far as terrible things go. And yeah, they should put these decals on the window area. Again, where your name is. Think about an emoji. How small an emoji is when you're using it on your phone. Okay, put it up there. You really won't be able to tell the difference either way, but I'm sorry, something that ridiculous and just quite frankly weird. I mean, look, you've seen all of these. Look at these. Some of these are super ass weird. I don't get it. It's almost like a quick laugh, but I'm sorry, I don't want to see that slapped on the side of every car, including my favorites. I just don't want to see it. It's ridiculous. And this gimmick shit that they tried to pull every year since the 2014 era, you know, they started doing the Chase banners, Chase Yellow, I remember that. They did it on the roof. Yes, the Nations, that was stupid as well. And the original concept of the Chase thing. You know, they had that Chase trim on the bottom around the splitter area. You had your decal, Chase for the Cup. You had the yellow windshield banner. You had yellow numbers. That was the original, okay? And I never liked when they had the yellow numbers as well. I always thought it was completely out of place. Again, that messed with the integrity of those paint schemes. Don't be changing them. I have absolutely no problem if they want to take the green, which I do like the Monster Playoff green, by the way. That some cars it really pops. So they should have it on the splitter, make your green playoff banner, and a green spoiler. That's how you make sure everybody knows those are the playoff cars. I think that is the simplest way. You don't screw with the paint scheme at all. It's all your basically kind of external stuff, really. That's fine. Do that. Leave the paint scheme itself alone.
And the weirdest thing is, like, even non-playoff drivers used it. It's like it just attacked everyone. You couldn't get away from it. If they want to promote the playoffs, then why are you slapping Twitter decals on De Benedetto's car and stuff? He's not a part of it. None of it really makes sense, and it's just so disappointing.
Well, yeah, that was back to my original point, because, like, why are they trying to promote the playoffs on the race cars? Again, if somebody new is watching, they're already going to be watching. They don't need to see it on a race car. It's just, there's no point there. You can't tell me this is actually doing good by slapping a decal on there. You said it best. Keep your dumb bullshit to the social media. Guess what? I ain't using it. None of us are using it. I don't like really using hashtags to a serious effect. I always make fun of them. So, no. This is just absolutely terrible, and I really, really hope this gets banished soon.
Even the drivers don't like them, for the record.
Yeah, really, I got nothing else to say about this thing. This is just absolutely ridiculous. I hate it, and it's going to ruin our paint scheme segment for the rest of the year.
And for that NASCAR RTA, you guys get a premature straight boner jacket award. Because not only is this a boner of the week, but you must be freaking crazy to go and ruin every single paint scheme out on the track today with this stupid decal. I mean, come on, man!
Well, the trucks raced in Las Vegas this weekend, and you know damn well what that means. Where did Cody Kaufman finish? Big Turkey Swiss cheese. He started in 15th and finished a very disappointing 24th, a DNF after a crash late in the race. Oh man, he was running so good up near the top 10 and it almost did well. Then he got crashed.
God bless him.
So let's see what he had to say. We had a great race going until we were taken out. It's really disappointing. Our guys did a great job this weekend and we had a great God bless the broken road Chevy tonight. Okay, that was pretty simple and straightforward. And yeah, you had a little different paint scheme promoting your movie that came out last week. Oh boy. First of all, let's just go ahead and get to our normal stuff. Jer, even though I know you're not the crew chief anymore, that came out of nowhere, and I'm sure you're a lot happier, but you're still in the shop. You still have to see Cody, trot in there with his big jumbo can and his sad face. So did they do well this week? Hell no, they didn't do well. Oh, you were doing so well. And then you didn't. Now, on to God Bless the Broken Road, which, good Lord, Cody, you have promoted the ever-living piss out of this movie. But did that do well? Hell no, it didn't. Currently, it holds a 11% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, a movie critic website, so that's only 11% approval. Let's take a look at this funny little review here. This is hilarious. Reverence for God and the Church. Check. Patriotism and the highest regard for military service. Check. Country music. Check. NASCAR racing. Check. The only thing missing from God Bless the Broken Road is compelling or believable drama. A negative review from Mr. Frank Scheck. I'm sure he's a great guy at the Hollywood Reporter, and it says he's a top critic, so I'm going to go ahead and believe him. Man, Cody, what a weekend for you. Well, I guess that's what happens when you're in mediocre movies and you have mediocre talent. Jags!
Jags!
Cody bless the broken Jags!
God bless the broken plan!
Yeah, exactly. Where was the plan? I'm surprised they didn't mention that. Did Doug not have a plan? I guarantee Jer did.
Oh, you mean Cody's script.
The truck was handling really well tonight.
These Jags are making me thirsty.
I think Cody's just a robot at this point.
But he's not a winning robot, unlike Matt Kenseth.
Oh, Cody. That's 8 straight races without top 10 now. Better luck next time.
All right, it's that time of the week once again. It's time to hand out some awards for the Las Vegas race weekend. And as always, we start with the classic boner of the week. Thermite, who got the Rager this week?
It goes to Tyler Reddick. On one of the final restarts of the race, he had like a seizure going down the front stretch and blocked Brandon Jones multiple times, and Jones wasn't going to lift. He didn't have to. if you're him, you're not going to expect this driver swerving in front of you. But Reddick did it on a curved front stretch, and he got turned into the outside wall, and then the back end of the car kind of came apart, and he had no aerodynamics and spun down the track going into turn 1, clipping Shane Lee, who was having a good run. And then Lee went up the hill into Daniel Hemrick really hard, sandwiched the 21 against the wall, and those two were done. And it just didn't need to happen. I think for Reddick, like, he was starting to come around and not slap the wall or spin out every other race. But this time, he went right back at it. And I know he's a JRM driver, and I know he's got a lot of talent, but he's got to just know his role and back it down sometimes and get to the end. So, next award.
The next award is the Weekend from Hell. And my lord, Roush Racing had quite the weekend. They crashed both their Xfinity cars, the 16 of Ryan Reed and the 60 of Chase Briscoe. Really no surprise on the 60s, and that's 19 of 24 that car has been involved in an incident of some sort. And both cars were doing really solid, especially the 60. They were in the hunt for a top 10 finish. Chase Briscoe was doing a great job and got taken out by no fault of his own, hitting that inside wall damn near really hit that opening. And then the next day, Ricky Stenhouse and Trevor Bayne, they're just whatever, they're out there running their laps. And late in the race, Ricky crashes in nearly the identical spot that Chase crashed in the day before. Wow. Trevor Bayne managed to make it to the finish. Congratulations. In 13th. Whatever, I guess that's solid for you guys, but
He did have a speeding penalty, though.
Exactly. They still managed to do something bad, and it's just Trevor Bayne, so he's naturally bad. And he won't be back in that car next year. So just basically everything was terrible for Roush this weekend. You guys had a true weekend from hell. But we're not done yet, because we still have a dishonorable mention for a day from hell. And that goes to old Willie Wallwack. We mentioned that earlier in the year, that little phrase. It's a really great one. William Byron knocked down the wall on 2 occasions. And the second one, well, that did the car in. Finished 37th, DNF'd. Bad Willie. Next award.
The next award is the Straight Jacket Award! And it goes to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the South Point 400. Oh my God, what a crazy-ass race. 4 playoff drivers DNF'd, and 11 total were involved in some kind of an incident or had some kind of a problem. Las Vegas, you must be freaking crazy to put on such a crazy-ass race like that. My God! Next award.
Short and sweet. There you go. We have some cigars. We actually have quite a few, and we'll start with the Truck Series. Grant Enfinger finished first. It was his first win since Talladega 2 years ago when he was on a part-time schedule. But, man, he had one of the best trucks all night, and he still put himself in the right spot, had a few good restarts, and took the checkered flag. And he's a playoff driver, so that advances him into the next round, and he doesn't have to worry about Talladega, even though he's pretty good there. The next cigar goes to Ross Chastain, and we'll get to his big moment in a couple minutes. But first, he finished 7th.
7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7.
In the truck race in an unsponsored 15 truck, and that was the first top 10 finish for that team in their entire career. 111 starts, and that's just incredible. And it just shows how talented Chastain is in all of the series. So another good run for him. Next we have Austin Theriault, who finished 8th. It was the team's first top 10 finish, I believe. Their first race was like at Bristol a few races ago. That 30 truck with a nice little paint scheme. But this was Theriault's first race back in a while, too. Remember, he had that scary crash here a few years ago that knocked him out of the sport for a while. But he's starting to climb back into it, and he showed that he's still got the talent to get it done, and he brought home a top 10. Great job for Austin Theriault. This cigar may surprise you. I still can't believe this one. Jennifer Jo Cobb. That is hard to say with a straight face. Finished 12th.
12th!
I wasn't even asking for that, but I appreciate it. She avoided all the carnage and came home 12th. I don't know how she did it. She's basically like a Starton Parker or like a 30th place finisher at best. But, you know, I got to give her props. She actually got it done, had enough pace to get through the carnage, and get a solid finish, and that may never happen again. But I am actually happy for her because she is one of those that wants to do well, and she works hard, and at multiple things, and
I'm sure Eddie Triconis was more than pleased.
yeah, he was. But I mean, hell of a job. I don't know how it happened, but man, that's amazing. Let's finish off the cigars. Next is Xfinity. Tyler, take it away.
Yeah, damn right. You know what's coming. Ross Chastain, Mr. Melon Man, he found his melon polisher. Ross, the boss, Las Vegas, won a race. Holy shit. I would say that I can't believe it, but I truly can. When he ran that race at Darlington so flawlessly, getting that pole, winning both stages, and then having Pizza Bitch take him out of it, I just knew that he was going to come back in one of these other two races that he had for the 42 car, and he was going to win. And what do you think he did? His first race back, he wins that son of a bitch, runs nearly the exact race he ran at Darlington, won both stages, just perfect execution on the day. Everything went right for him. I still remember when Ross ran his first truck race, and that Mellon number 66 truck for Stacey Compton ran that son bitch 10th that night, and I don't know. I always had like a kind of thing for him after that. I was like, man, that's real cool. You always like the underdog stories. And even though this is not an underfunded car or an underdog car in any sort of way, Ross Chastain still is the underdog story of all time. So I appreciate that. He drove fantastically. He deserved this win. We couldn't be any happy for him. Get some damn watermelon and celebrate in style. Woo! Damn, I'm sorry. I'm pumped up, and I almost have to. This next cigar don't even mean as much. I'm sorry, but it goes to Ryan Preece, who had a true day from hell. He really did. But he bounced back from it. He spun out a couple times, whacked the wall. I don't know what the hell he did, but he still finished sixth. Another underdog, Ryan Preece, but he's in a great ride. Either way, you got to go out and do the job and show that he can bounce back from a shit afternoon. So, nice job, Ryan. And we have a couple more cigars to hand out for the cup race. King, take it away.
All right, our first Cup cigar goes to Team Penske, their third straight win for Brad Keselowski. But more importantly than that, as I mentioned in the race recap, it is their 500th career racing win across all forms of racing. That's NASCAR, IndyCar, sports cars, all of it. Roger Penske is a 500 race winner, and he wasn't even at Vegas. He was obviously at the IndyCar race in Sonoma, and they actually showed him celebrating on Will Power's pit box because he's got a call strategy for him during the Sonoma race. So, yeah, Roger was pretty pumped for that. He's already got his 500 win hat all ready to go, and you just have to feel good for the captain. And anyways, we're moving on. Our final cigar for this week, it goes to some of the underfunded guys who had great runs this weekend. Corey LaJoie, the number 72 TriStar team, came home in 16th. And then J.J. Yaley, driving the bankrupt racing car for BK Racing, he finished 17th. How does that even happen? It's BK Racing. They're not supposed to finish in the top 20. And then Ross Chastain, this is his third cigar this weekend. He finished 20th in the Premium Motorsports number 15 shitbox. How does he do that? I still don't get it. He finishes 7th in a premium truck. He wins Xfinity, and then he goes and finishes top 20 in the Cup car. The kid's got talent. You cannot deny it now, especially after this weekend. This is easily the best weekend of Ross's career, and I think it's only going to get better from here on out. And that is it for the cigars, and I believe we have one more award. We brought it back last week, but once again this week it makes an appearance. Nick, what is it?
Oh, I know what this is, Kane. It's the crying towel. And it goes to Kevin Unhappy Harvick. Oh my god. It's basically like a simple situation here, but Harvick cut a tire in stage 2 and slammed the wall, also took out Eric Jones, but instead of just being disappointed and moving on to the next week, he had to pull a Kyle Busch and even a Tony Stewart from years back and blame Goodyear. He basically started off his interview saying that every time he puts on these crap tires, you never really know what's going to happen, and it just, he blamed the tires for his bad situation instead of maybe the setup or how he was driving it or whatever. He just had to go and attack someone, because Harvick is never wrong. See Darlington from a couple weeks ago. Kevin, just stop it. You are one big Jimmy John's baby. You're a 9-inch wheat sub baby.
I was gonna say the Jimmy Johns and their 9-week whole week. God damn it! I fuck your sub, Jimmy Johns. Did they end their promotion already? Oh, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin, why do you gotta go and dress good? You're like that. Did they hurt your feelings? Oh my God, Kevin, you big crybaby!
Oh, I bet you weren't complaining when you kicked everybody's ass in the spring, Kevin. Right? I bet it was the same goddamn tire they brought back. Oh no! Oh, it's a good thing you didn't enter the Xfinity race this weekend, because you would have got beat by a talentless hack, Ross Chastain. Oh, Kevin.
Even after all that, he's still gonna advance, no problem. But still, like, come on.
Oh, I bet you're happy about that, Puffer. I'm not happy about anything. Get your towel.
I'm not happy about anything. Congratulations.
Exactly.
Mic drop!
Oh,
Kevin.
jackass.
Yeah, he just grow up. I just can't believe, like, he's been racing this long, and he still can't take responsibility for his actions. He's just one of those drivers that can do no wrong. It's always someone else's fault.
I bet his little happy emoji on the side of his car blew his tire. I bet that was a problem, Kevin. By the way, how's KHI working out?
Oh, wait!
Get your flying meteor with a face on it.
Bitch!
Hi, welcome to Jimmy John's. What can I get you? I'll have a number 4, the large bitch.
The 9-inch bitch?
Well, he's not 9 inches, that's for damn sure. But we'll just go ask Delana. She has the bigger cock.
We really have to move on.
I think we do. Nice next to last place finish. Bitch!
Well, it's that time of the week once again. It's time for the best paint schemes of the week. We only got 2 this week, so we're not going to do a montage. We're just going to straight up talk about them. Gentlemen, what are they?
The first good paint scheme, I don't know if it's really a best, more like an honorable mention, but it's still pretty good. It's Austin Dillon's Frost Chevrolet. It's kind of simple in terms of like placement and stuff, but it's cool. It's got icicles, and the hood looks like it's frozen, and it just gets the job done. He really hasn't had many really good ones this year, so this one's breath of cool fresh air, like a mint. Moving on.
Yes, the next one is Matt DiBenedetto's Zynga Poker Ford. He's run a couple of them this year, mainly a black and reddish kind of one, but this one's different than that one, and it has a little bit of like, bluish glare in there, even a little bit of pink and weirdness. Still got your poker chips there. This really does mean honorable mention because there's still things that are kind of weird about it. I really don't like the hood and how the pink there and the accent behind it. It's just kind of awkward, but it's still cool too. I like it. It's sometimes weird things are good looking. Speaking of weird things, but these are not good looking. The worst paint schemes of the week. Oh boy. We got 3. Please just take it away. Get this over with.
Yeah, I'll try my best with this one. It's Brad Keselowski's Auto Trader Fusion. What happened? They used to have a good paint scheme that worked just fine. It was basically a copy and paste with different colors from all the other Penske paint schemes, and they changed it for some reason to this. Even Brad's looking at it all funny because he's wondering what happened. They still got the orange as the primary and the blue as the secondary with the white accents. It's just kind of weird. Like, first of all, on the nose, the way it kind of curves to the grill by the Ford decal doesn't really work there. I kind of would have preferred if they just made it go, like, curve straight across. And they have some faded orange lines kind of going behind the number. That's not that bad. That's probably my favorite part of it. And then you get to the A, which is like auto owner's stupid cousin or something. That doesn't work. It worked better on the old car, like everything else on this paint scheme. Not to mention on the hood, I guess they have some promotion going. Accelerate my deal. Well, I'll accelerate this segment and just move on. I don't want to talk about this thing anymore. So what's the next one?
Oh, the next one is Chris Buescher's Natty Light Race Day Resume Chevrolet. Hire Briar Star now. Why? What good has he done? Oh, he's a scoreboard operator? Oh, cool. Oh, he's a community service volunteer. Oh, okay, that's good. But how many years experience does he have? Oh, well, first of all, who cares? This is actually a really solid paint scheme, but it got ruined by all this shit all over the car. Like, it's got a phone number, it's got the dude's face on the decklet saying, I could do it, I'm willing to relocate. Oh my god, and then not to mention it has his whole actual resume on the damn hood. Oh, it's just another JTG Doherty catastrophe, which, let's face it, we're pretty much used to those by now, especially from the 37 team. Good God, man, this is just crazy. It just looks stupid.
I'll admit it's funny, but it's not really well done.
No. Good for the guy for winning that contest and getting his shit plastered all over the car, but a shitload of text does not make a good race car.
So moving on.
We should have already.
But thank you, Kane. The final worst paint scheme of the week, Kyle Larson's DC Solar Chevrolet. Now, we'll start off with a positive thing. I appreciate the Vegas Strong and the American flag on the hood. That's a great, nice touch. We always appreciate positive things. It's kind of like the Darlington throwbacks. There was a lot of good messages, good stories behind them. But again, that doesn't mean they're always going to be good-looking race cars. And that is more than evident here. This DC Solar scheme has been run in alternate variations at times. There was the original one that ran in the Clash. There was the patriotic version. And now there's this version. I'm hard-pressed to say that this isn't the worst of them all. It's simply an awkward-looking car. I don't like what's going on behind the contingencies. That rectangle, and then you got a little triangle spike right there. Just it's there for no reason. Got your little DC Solar windmill-looking thingy weirdness back in the damn wheel well. You got the whole hood that's just blue. There's no flow to this damn thing. Okay, the regular DC Solar car, now that's a good-looking race car, and that needs to run a hell of a lot more often than this. Let's just call it an alternate because it doesn't deserve to be called a primary whatsoever. Bad-looking car. No. And stop running this, please. It's a sore to our eyes. Thank you.
Vegas Strong, paint scheme week.
Thank
Wow.
you, Nick.
I can't say it better. Nice message. Not so nice paint scheme. Goodbye.
There you go.
Okay, it's time to recap the fantasy results and picks from Las Vegas. And oh my god, Damani, our ghost fourth member, he finally wins a fantasy weekend. After busting his ass in the last show for not winning at all during the regular season, he bangs out the first playoff race, winning, picking Martin Truex Jr., who finished the race in third, getting 52 points, and he just edged out old Kane, who has been on quite a roll. He picked the race winner of Brad Keselowski, but he only got 50 points. I finished third, picking Kyle Busch, who rebounded from his hellish day to finish seventh, getting 35 points. And Nick, oh boy, he had a black cat cross the street. Kevin Harvick wrecked. Finished 39, only got 10 points. Sucks to suck again, Nick. So that means you are picking first for Richmond, race number 2. Who do you got?
Kyle Busch.
Oh, damn him! Oh, man, that's pathetic. That's not funny.
That's just how pissed I am, though. Like, I don't really want him to win, but I don't know. Like, I've been jinxing everything lately. I don't get it. But, I mean, I guess for your guys' sake, I hope I do it again. But I need a safe pick to get some points. I don't know how else to do it. Tyler, what's your pick?
Joey Logano. Yeah, just like you, I'm not happy about making his selection. First of all, Joey's won a couple times at Richmond. Penske's on a hell of a roll lately. I just think it's a safe pick. He's going to get some stage points, whatnot. Maybe rack up a solid finish. Maybe a win. Certainly won't make me happy on that front, but at least it'd be positive for fantasy. So, Kane?
Oh, I'm not happy about my pick either, like you two. I'm going with Kevin Harvick. Had a shot to win in the spring, finished in somewhere in the top 5. I don't remember where. He's probably going to rebound after what happened this week in Vegas, so I'm going to take Harvick. Damani, who's your pick?
Special delivery of another Denny DNF! Well, that does it for another episode of Behind the Wall, presented by Perky Jerky, a delicious jerky. I'm going to keep mentioning it until we get some sponsorship dollars, or you buy a bag of Perky Jerky. Either way, it's a positive thing. So, So for Damani HD, he's dead. Kane Jr. 88, he's drunk. Thermite 917, won another championship on a mediocre game. Congratulations, nobody cares. And for myself, Pro Bowl 43. I hope you've enjoyed our 75th episode. We sure have. So, you've been Behind the Wall. We'll see you next time. What the hell?
Shut up!
God damn it, shut up,
Sorry, I'm
He used to be Danica off the track.
What the hell?
Am I hearing?
Turn
Sorry.
it off!
Vegas!
South Point.
Viva Las Vegas.
We'll get to that.
Jesus Christ. That was so
Yep.
weird.
Oh my god.
Dude.
Thank
I
you
was-
for that.
I was actually, I was waiting to do that. I wanted to do that after you threw it to me, but I just didn't have it in me.
That's gonna have to be like the end of the outtakes now. And that was his first top 10. Ah! Next we have. Shut up! Don't even breathe. I ask for silence. It's like golf or tennis. Bunch of bastards. I swear to God.
Oh man, you get salt, you're gonna get smart ass in return, Nick.
Next.
I was trying to hold it in myself. I held it in for you, and then you bottled it, so I love it.
Man, I hate when people talk over me. We've all been there, except Damani because he's never here. Who just gave me his pick, by the way, Denny Hamlin.
Check. Bottle.
I guess he didn't want to win that bad. Jennifer joke. I can't even say it.
Teacher Cody's his whore.
She
Oh
gives
my
out
God.
free blowjobs.
That just sounds wrong unless you use the name that we gave her. But
Oh my God, 12th place finisher Eddie Traconis' blowjobber Jennifer Jocob.
that didn't sound much better.
It really
Let's try to
didn't.
finish this.
It's me, Eddie Taconis.
Eddie Traconis and Austin Cindric is an ass.
He that Casgala at Montreal.
Oh my God.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Damn it. I'm sorry.
Ow! He basically said that.
Everybody knows Bud Light and Busch Light are better than Natty Light. Same with Miller Light, too. Miller Light, Busch Light, and Bud Light are all better than Natty Light.
Please exit the party. Yeah, we got the first. Damn it!
Could you drop the ball any harder right now?
I could try.
Finishing off our 75th episode. This is Damani. This is not Damani. Why the fuck would I say it like that? This is Damani HD. Oh.
Wow.
Oh man, I tell you what a weekend. I didn't like that.
Well, the trucks raced in Las Vegas this weekend.
Okay. No shit, they raced in Las Vegas this weekend. I think
Oh,
someone's
that
trying to be a
sounded-
smartass.
Well, I only thought of that because when you did, well, this has been another episode. It almost sounded like you were going to say, well, the trucks raced in Las Vegas this weekend.
Oh, Cody, you wrecked. Kevin, you suck. And goddamn, those paint schemes are awful. That's a quick summary behind the wall. Fucking hell, this is a long episode.
There's always something.
Yeah?